there's a whole bunch of different ways, and there's a lot, like, obviously being an independent artist, but side note to all of the other independent artists, stay independent. Know your guys' worth. You're all going to get better. The amount of I've had, I think, 2 offers now for record deals that were just like, I looked at the number, and like, before you get super hungry, like, you see like, oh, $200,000, like, that's awesome, but then you take into consideration, all right, 100,000 that's going to get taken out. They own all your music, and like, is you all your time, money, effort, and talent worth $100,000? And you're like, fuck no, like, that's not worth it at all. So stay hungry, and you could figure out your own lane. But yeah, no, there's 2 different ways you can kind of approach it, at least in the art standpoint, and that's what everyone says. It's like, you can try to find your sound. You could try to find, you know, like a kind of like a Drake or like a DaBaby. Like, you kind of know what they're gonna do before they, like, a song drops. You're like, I know how they're gonna sound, right?
Yeah.
And you can really kind of like hit your niche target audience, which everyone kind of like, when you're trying to like you don't care, or like you want it to happen ASAP, like, you kind of stick to that formula. But when you're more along the lines of like, I just want to get better at music, and like, I want to find out like what I want to do, and if tomorrow I wake up and I want to write a song that is nothing like anything I've ever made, and like challenge yourself, like, it's more of like the slow formula to like kind of gaining like the fan base that like you kind of want to get. But it's all a matter of just like staying true to yourself. Like, there's no reason to like, I don't care whether, you know, in a month from now, if I'm not, you know, living in California yet or something like that, like, it's in due time, as long as you stick to your own process. But I love being able to just work on different stuff. And I think it is like a conscious thing where it's like, I'm always just trying to like grow. Like, even like when you sit down at the end of your day, like, I'm not like, oh, what am I doing tomorrow? It's like, oh, was there any situations throughout my day that like maybe I didn't react the way I wanted to, or was there a point in my day where I had a thought that I didn't really like how it made me feel? Like, why did it make me do that? Like, it's always kind of this like grow aspect. And like, it honestly probably started with music, because I got so meticulous. Like, I stopped gaming completely too. Like, I stopped gaming. Like, I hardly even like watch that much like TV anymore. Like, if I'm not like brainstorming or like writing lyrics or like just like out experiencing stuff to like get a little bit of like inspiration, like, it's just, it definitely is kind of, once you find something you really love, and you like, because you take those like principles and those morals and everything about like that passion, and then it trickles down to the rest of your life, and it's fucking awesome. Whether it be through sports or whether it be through podcasts or anything you do, once you like really love something, you care about getting better at it, and you don't give a fuck really like even the end goal. Like, you just like love to do something, and then that kind of just, you learn a lot about yourself once you find something like that, and it's fucking awesome.
It's all a pursuit towards authenticity.
Yeah.
For yourself. And I think that's what people want who consume media. I think that's what they want more than ever.
Yeah.
I think people, if you're an entertainer, I think people like to see you work.
Yeah.
People like to watch you develop into things. And sometimes, you know, it doesn't always hit. But even then, I think it still does in a way, because people realize what you're trying to do. I guess you always have people that are going to try and say something about it, but at the same time, I mean, we all know those aren't real people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
People like to say things online because they make them angry.
Right.
But
I think you just summed up the creative process in probably the best way that anybody ever has for the way that media as a whole is starting to develop.
Yeah.
If people don't have the mindset that you have, they need to get it.
Yeah. It's just that you're going to sign yourself up for a lot of disappointment in yourself, or worst case scenario, you might start doing really well, and then you might try to veer off, and you're like, I want to make something that feels more like me. And then now you have a little bit more of a following, and they're like, hey, we fucking hate that. And it was like, well, this is me.
Yeah.
So it's like, stay true to yourself the whole fucking time. And if they want to hop on for the ride, they'll hop on for the ride. If they don't want to hop on for the ride, you were yourself the whole time. You got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, get on board.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's the dangerous thing to do, is to, like you said, do kind of the Drake into Baby Way. Obviously, those guys are so big right now.
Right.
And-
They could do anything, whatever they
But
want. Someone's gonna like it because
exactly.
they'll listen.
But
yeah.
but for people that are starting to come up,
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
It's just not. People don't want that.
Yeah.
They want authenticity and they want growth.
Yeah, and you don't even have, if you found the one thing you love, but it's all in you, like, you don't have to go and try to do a bunch of different genres or anything like that. Like, do whatever makes you happy. But
Right.
if you're interested in doing it, do it with your whole heart. Never
Yeah,
have any,
you
like,
can't-
what if I would have tried that?
You can't let anything stop you as far as that goes.
Yeah.
I think what you said about being independent is a huge thing because that's another thing with the internet.
Yeah.
You don't need record companies anymore.
No.
You just don't.
Not at all.
And I can only imagine what some of those guys said to you to try and make you think that that's still the way things were.
Yeah, not at all.
It's fucked, and like at least that's coming to an end, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my favorite thing about, like, that's the best part about the internet is, like, you can learn about whatever industry and strive in it yourself. It's going to take a fuck lot more work. But you're going to have way more freedom. You're going to be in complete control of, how the funds are spent, everything. You own your rights to everything. I mean, besides like sponsorships and whatnot, but that's just part of the game. But you can learn something and just completely flourish in it without like the big, like someone's above you with fucking the little puppet
Right.
trying
Yeah.
to like string you along.